For Chapter 2 in Great Gatsby, Nick and Tom are riding on a train in New York, and then Tom makes Nick get off on one stop, which leads them to George Wilson's house. George Wilson's wife is having an affair with Tom, but George has no idea. All of them chat for a while, and then Tom tells Myrtle, who is George's wife, to come with him and Nick onto the train. And the train takes them down to New York City, where Tom and Myrtle share an apartment. They have a party, and Myrtle's sister, Catherine, and a couple from the building come. And Catherine talks with Nick for a while, and then she tells him things that she's heard about Jay Gatsby, who is Nick's neighbor. And she says that she's heard that Gatsby is related to a ruler of Germany during World War I. And Nick is disgusted by how everyone is behaving in the inappropriate conversation that's going on. And so he tries to go home. But he's also fascinated by the way that they're so open and honest with each other and don't really care what they're saying. And then the night goes on, and Myrtle starts to drink a lot and becomes loud and obnoxious. And then Tom decides to give her a puppy as a gift to try to quiet her down, but that doesn't work, and she just starts talking about Daisy, who is Tom's wife. And then Tom gets really angry with her and tells her never to speak of his wife, but she gets mad at him and just keeps talking about Daisy and starts chanting her name. And Tom finally snaps and punches her in the face and breaks her nose. And then that ends the party really quickly, and then Nick leaves drunk and goes home. Some examples of similes and metaphors that I found is it mentions the eyes that are blue and gigantic, and they look without any face. And then a simile that I found is instead of being the warm center of the world, the Middle West now seemed like the edge of the universe. So I decided to go east and learn the bond business. Metaphors and similes express the concept of wealth all throughout the book. Some examples of symbolism that I found were the eyes symbolize a watcher, and then the valley of ashes that separate the west egg from the east egg symbolizes a poverty. And George Wilson lives within the dirty ashes, and that's made him lose his vitality. The theme that I thought the story had was it's a love story between a man and a woman, but it also tells about how America is overall during the 1920s and the new jazz age and the Harlem Renaissance and just all of that combining, creating a new world for America. And then The Great Gatsby teaches us about the American dream, and it says that people dream of happiness and individualism, but it has disintegrated into wanting to gain wealth, and so they're just looking to get money. They're not looking for happiness. They think that happiness will come when they get money. And then for an alternate ending, I don't think that Gatsby should have taken the fall for the car wreck, even if he was trying to protect Daisy, because Gatsby waited so long for Daisy to fall for him, and he worked really hard to impress her, but she never really picked up on it, and there was a reason that she picked Tom over Gatsby when she decided to get married. And if this had happened, then Gatsby wouldn't have been shot, and it would have changed the behavior of George and probably Nick as well, because George wouldn't have been mad at Gatsby for thinking that he had an affair with Myrtle, and if he believed that Daisy did it, then he might not have been he still would have been heartbroken, but he wouldn't have been as angry as he was, and then Nick might not have left